This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple makes a big move for small developers, a couple of iPhone 12 stories, and Merry Christmas special news. It's Thursday, the 19th of November, 2020. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Right Side Up. Ready with the growth marketing help you need. Learn more at rightsideup.com/macosken. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp, online counseling that's there for you. Right now is kind of weird. My counselor and I have spent a lot of time over the past couple of months talking about that. State of the world, stress, how both are affecting my mental health. If today is making you feel off kilter, BetterHelp is there. If there's something you've been carrying around for a long time that's exacerbated by the state of things, BetterHelp is there. If you're just ready to deal with that issue you keep kicking down the road, BetterHelp is waiting. So many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. If you're ready for it, BetterHelp is there. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/macosken. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that is BetterHelp, HELP, betterhelp.com/macosken. One more time, it's betterhelp.com/macosken. And a big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. Apple made a big move for small developers on Wednesday, with the understanding that small is a relative term. If I made $999,000, I don't think I'd think of myself as small, and yet Apple's announced the App Store Small Business Program, set to open January 2021 for developers who make under $1 million through Apple's various app stores. Basically, those developers will pay less in commission than those who make over $1 million. Standard commission is 30%. Commission for Small Business Program participants will be 15%. Quoting the company's App Store Small Business Program site, while the comprehensive details will be released in early December, the essentials of the program participation criteria are easy and streamlined. Existing developers who made up to $1 million in 2020 for all their apps, as well as developers new to the App Store, can qualify for the program and the reduced commission. If a participating developer surpasses the $1 million threshold, the standard commission rate will apply for the remainder of the year. If a developer's business falls below the $1 million threshold in a future calendar year, they can re-qualify for the 15% commission the year after. That site cites many of the benefits Apple says it provides, such as Apple's suite of developer tools, including development applications, programming languages, and a secure payment interface, more than 250,000 APIs, and access to still more tools such as HealthKit, ARKit, and Core ML. Apple also ran a feature in its online newsroom full of hosannas and heyzannas from developers big enough to have been heard of, but small enough to work under the $1 million cap. If that sounds like a jaded take, I apologize, but most of the rest of this feels a bit like spin. Apple Insider ran a piece under the headline, "Developers Delighted at Apple's Reduced App Store Commission." I'm sure many of them are, maybe even most of them, but did you talk to all of them? Taking another angle is this bit from a CNET piece. The shift comes after years of debate among Apple's 28 million app developers who've bristled at the iPhone makers' commissions as the digital storefronts expanded to more than 1.5 billion active devices. The story to which they link to back up the 28 million party argument is about one lawsuit from over a year ago and the usual gripes from Spotify. To be clear, I'm sure there are many developers who do bristle at the 30%, though not all. I asked a developer friend whether Apple's 30% commission had upset him to this point. His response, nope. Retail stores typically take 50%, so I always thought 30% was cheap. That said, with so many apps in the App Store, it's a whole lot harder to justify 30%. It's just hard to get noticed. Now, I mentioned earlier the usual gripes from Spotify. When the CNET piece about the suit was written a year and a half ago, Spotify was the 800-pound gorilla when it came to complaining about App Store commissions. Of course, there's a new sheriff in town as far as that's concerned. Or outlaw. I don't know. I never played Fortnite. The Apple Insider piece I mentioned earlier, the one talking about delighted developers. Yeah, that piece also mentioned Epic and Spotify, who, funny enough, don't sound delighted. In a statement on Wednesday, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney said, "This would be something to celebrate were it not a calculated move by Apple to divide app creators and preserve their monopoly on stores and payments, again breaking the promise of treating all developers equally. By giving special 15% terms to select robber barons like Amazon and now also to small indies, Apple is hoping to remove enough critics that they can get away with their blockade on competition and 30% tax on most in-app purchases, but consumers will still pay inflated prices marked up by the Apple tax." And another thing, said Spotify, though in many, many more words. Quoting those, Apple's anti-competitive behavior threatens all developers on iOS, and this latest move further demonstrates that their App Store policies are arbitrary and capricious. While we find their fees to be excessive and discriminatory, Apple's tying of its own payment system to the App Store and the communications restrictions it uses to punish developers who choose not to use it put apps like Spotify at a significant disadvantage to their own competing service. Ensuring that the market remains competitive is a critical task, Spotify continues. We hope that regulators will ignore Apple's window dressing and act with urgency to protect consumer choice, ensuring fair competition, and create a level playing field for all. Now, we should pause for a moment to consider the plight of the downtrodden millionaire CEO of Epic Games. He seems to think that his fight with Apple is on par with the fight for civil rights in the U.S. Something I got wrong on yesterday's macOS Ken Live. There was a quote going around that had Sweeney saying that, comparing Epic's fight with Apple to the fight for civil rights in the States. I assumed it was an old quote since it was from a conference. That's the part I got wrong. TechCrunch says Sweeney was speaking yesterday at the New York Times DealBook Online Summit. It was there and then that he said, "It's everybody's duty to fight. It's not just an option that somebody's lawyers might decide, but it's actually our duty to fight that. If we had adhered to all of Apple's terms and, taken their 30% payment processing fees and passed the cost along to our customers, then that would be Epic colluding with Apple to restrain competition on iOS and to inflate prices for consumers. So going along with Apple's agreement is what is wrong. And that's why Epic mounted a challenge to this. And you can hear of any, and then there was a word that they missed, to civil rights fights where there are actual laws on the books. And the laws were wrong, and people disobeyed them. And it was not wrong to disobey them because to go along with them would be collusion to make them status quo. Fun fact, did you know Epic Games is based in North Carolina? Yeah, I just found that out myself. I assumed that this was some twit from Silicon Valley with no real feel for civil rights abuses. We should all have a real feel for civil rights abuses, but seriously, dude's from North Carolina talking about how his fight is akin to the fight for civil rights. Lots of cops kneeling on the necks of Epic bosses. Hey, pop quiz, how many Epic board members have been shot in the back by police? How long did you have to stand in line to vote? It's worth mentioning, Apple has said that it will reduce its commission from App Store sales from 30% to 15%. That's the kind of thing that might get the attention of financial analysts. Certainly it would if it was an across-the-board change, While the number of developers affected is substantial, the amount of money, well, they're all under $1 million, aren't they? Apple Insider had a couple of financial folks commenting on the potential effect to Apple's bottom line. One piece had JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee commenting more on the positives to small developers than the negatives for Apple. As far as the impact to Apple's bottom line, the report says the analyst believes that investors will look to price in the broader earnings risk around an eventual moderation of rates from the entire developer community. Chatterjee has a positive rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $150. The other view from Wall Street came compliments of Morgan Stanley analyst Katie Huberty. Apple Insider had the Hube saying that from a financial point of view, Apple's announcement is immaterial and not likely an indication of future commission shifts across the board. In fact, she thinks the move could be better for Apple's bottom line in the long run. Quoting her note, in June 2016, Apple reduced the commission rate for annual subscriptions after the first year by half to 15%. This move attracted more subscription-based applications to its platform, and by the end of 2020, Apple expects to reach 600 million paid subscribers, up from just 150 million in December 2016. According to Apple Insider, the analyst sees the new small business program as similarly stimulating innovation and engagement by independent and smaller developers. She says that the move could accelerate app download growth rate in the long term. Huberty has a positive rating on Apple shares. Her price target on the shares is $136. More news in a moment, but first a word from Right Side Up, ready with the growth marketing help your business needs. One size fits all sounds convenient, doesn't it? Yeah, the only problem is it never really works. I mean, it might function, but it's not perfect. Maybe that's fine if you're talking about a baseball hat, but we're talking about your business, this thing you've built and grown. Rather than taking over or telling you what to do, the growth marketing talent at Right Side Up gets to know you, gets to know your business, then works with you on successful strategies to keep your business growing. DoorDash, Zenefits, Sunbasket. You already know Right Side Up's work. From early stage ventures to fast-growing tech companies to Fortune 500 brands, they are ready with the growth marketing help you need. And right now, Right Side Up is offering macOS Ken listeners a free week of service after your first quarter of engagement when you go to rightsideup.com/macOSKen. That's rightsideup.com/macOSKen to speak to one of their marketing strategists and finally get the customer acquisition and marketing help you need. Go to rightsideup.com/macOSKen. And a big thanks to Right Side Up for sponsoring today's show. A mystery update for Apple's latest iPhones. Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company has released a revised version of iOS 14.2 specifically for iPhone 12 devices. Actually, the piece says the update is available to those who have an iPhone 12 device and who have not previously installed the iOS 14.2 update. I assume that means the whole line of iPhone 12s, not just the one called iPhone 12 in particular. So we're not sure who the update's for. Seems fitting then that we wouldn't know precisely what it does either. It's not clear why Apple has released a new version of iOS 14.2 according to the report, but it may include minor bug fixes, perhaps for installation issues. Now, one hopes installing the update will make things a bit more clear. Literally. A separate piece from Mac Rumors, also published on Wednesday, says Apple is looking into iPhone 12 displays exhibiting flickering, a green or gray glow, or other unintended lighting variations under some conditions. Quoting the report, In a document shared with Apple authorized service providers this week, Apple says that it is aware of customer reports related to this issue and is investigating. Apple has advised technicians to avoid servicing affected iPhones, at least for now, and instead inform customers that they should keep their iPhone up to date with the latest iOS version. Sort of sounds like a dodge, though there is reason to believe. The piece says a similar green-tinted display issue affected some iPhone 11 models. Apple was able to fix that with an update. Whether Wednesday's special 14.2 update tackles the latest issue remains to be seen. Good news for people who don't have access to the Apple TV app. They can still have a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and a Charlie Brown Christmas. Apple caused a bit of a stir earlier this year when it secured the rights to those two shows and It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Widely available as it is, moving the shows to the streaming platform meant some people might not be able to see them. Issue averted. iDownload blog says the Cupertino company has struck a deal with PBS to show both shows on broadcast TV. According to the report, they'll be available to watch on PBS and PBS Kids on the 22nd of November for the Thanksgiving special and the 13th of December for the Christmas special. Additionally, as had been announced, each show will be available to viewers who have access to the app but don't have an Apple TV Plus subscription. A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving will start streaming for subscribers on the 18th of November, with free availability from the 25th of November until the 27th. A Charlie Brown Christmas will stream on the service beginning the 4th of December. Folks can watch it for free from the 11th of December until the 13th. And finally today, what could be Apple's biggest gamble to date? I am referring, of course, to Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special. Apple issued a press release on Wednesday that really freaked me out. Here is the special's description. Faced with a holiday cheer crisis, the North Pole knows that there's only one person who can save the day: Santa's great friend, Mariah Carey. Combining musical performances, dynamic dancing, and groundbreaking animation, the undisputed Queen of Christmas jumps into action to create a holiday spectacular to make the whole world merry. Lest you sweat, a few things to note. The cast is kind of crazy, including Tiffany Haddish, Billy Eichner, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Hudson, Snoop Dogg, Jermaine Dupri, Misty Copeland, and Michael Michelle Harris. Also, it is being directed by Roman Coppola, son of Francis Ford Coppola, brother of Sofia Coppola, and it is that makes me worry less. Sofia Coppola directed A Very Murray Christmas for Netflix a few years back. Poignant, though far from serious. While Roman Coppola has a number of producing credits and impressive writing credits, including episodes of the series Mozart in the Jungle and the films Moonrise Kingdom and The Darjeeling Limited, this appears to be the biggest thing that he has directed. Mostly it's been commercials and music videos. Still, this sounds like one long, strange music video. Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special hits Apple TV Plus on the 4th of December. And just in case you're confused, this one will not be on PBS. Coming up in a few minutes, the After Show's Mike Rose and I will talk about changes for Apple, good and bad, wrought by the pandemic. Special focus on hardware sales, and whether in-person media events are a thing of the past. Look for the show in a few minutes, wherever you get podcasts. Doing the live thing again this afternoon on YouTube. That is youtube.com/KenRay. 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, other times, other places. Join us live if you can. youtube.com/KenRay. You can, of course, watch the replay there later or subscribe to the audio podcast, macOS Ken Live, wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Right Side Up, ready with the growth marketing help you need. Learn more at rightsideup.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Cha.